Hello everyone, hope you all are well. Today I will discuss about basic concept of electrical circuit part 2. My part 1 section, you can get this part 1 section in my description section. So before going this part 2 section, please go through the part 1 section. So myself Mr. Santanu Noskar, Assistant Professor of Electrical Department, GKCM JIS Group, and my mail ID is santanu.uit@gmail.com and santanu.noskar_GKCM@JISgroup.org. And this is my Facebook page, Being Electrify with Santanu. You can get all the videos, electrical related videos in my Facebook page and also in my YouTube channel. So before starting this lecture, I want to share with you something that was told by Dhirubhai Ambani. If you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help them build theirs. So let's talk about syllabus. So in this part 2 section, I will cover the voltage and current response and impedance diagram of pure RL and C to AC supply and phasor representation of alternating quantity. And in my part 1 section, I already covered electrical circuit elements RLC, voltage and current source, AC waveform, and definition of various terms associated with it. So let's start. So at first, let's talk about pure resistive AC circuit. So the circuit containing only a pure resistance of R ohm in the AC circuit is known as pure resistive AC circuit. The presence of inductance and capacitance does not exist in a purely resistive circuit. The alternating current and voltage both move forward as well as backward in both the direction of the circuit. Hence, the alternating current and voltage follows the shape of the sine wave or known as the sinusoidal wave. So in the purely resistive circuit, the power is distributed by the resistor and the phase of the voltage and current remain. Both the voltage and the current reach their maximum value at the same time. The resistor is the passive device which neither produce nor consume electric power. It converts the electrical energy into heat. Now if we explain the resistive circuit, in an AC circuit, the ratio of voltage to current depends upon the supply frequency, phase angle and phase difference. In an AC resistive circuit, the value of resistance of the resistor will be same irrespective of the supply frequency. Let the alternating voltage applied across the circuit, this circuit given by the equation V equals to Vn sin omega t. Then the instantaneous value of current flowing through the resistor shown in this figure, which is I equals to V by R and V equals to Vm sin omega t by R. This is number 2 equation. The value of current will be maximum when omega t equals to 90 degree. So when omega t equals to 90 degree, then sin omega t equals to 1. Okay, so putting the value of sin omega t in equation 2, we will get and putting the value of sin omega t, we get that I equals to Im sin omega t. This is number 3 equation. Okay, so now let's talk about the phase angle waveform of resistive circuit and power in pure resistive circuit. So from equation 1 and 3, it is clear that there is no phase difference between the applied voltage and the current flowing through a purely resistive circuit. Phase angle between voltage and current is 0. Hence, in an AC circuit containing pure resistance, the current is in phase with the voltage as shown in this waveform. Okay, so what is the power in resistive circuit? The 3 color red, blue and pink shown in the power curve or the waveform indicates the current for the current, voltage and power respectively. And from the phasor diagram, it is clear that the current and voltage are in phase with each other. That means the value of current and voltage attains its peak at the same instant of time, and the power curve is always positive for all the values of current and voltage. As in DC supply circuit, the product of voltage and current is known as the power in the circuit. Similarly, the power is the same in the AC circuit also. The only difference is that in the AC circuit, the instantaneous value of voltage and current is taken into consideration. Therefore, the instantaneous power in a purely resistive circuit is given by this equation. We all know that instantaneous power equals to P equals to VI. So we can write by the equation V equals to Vm sin omega t, I equals to Im sin omega t, P equals to Vm sin omega t, Im sin omega t. And we can also write P equals to Vm Im by 2 into 2 sin square omega t equals to Vm by root 2 Im by root 2, and the value of 2 sin square omega t 1 minus cos 2 omega t. And also we can write P equals to Vm by root 2 Im by root 2 minus Vm by root 2 Im by root 2 cos 2 omega t. Now the average power consumed in the circuit over a complete cycle is given by P equals to average of Vm by root 2 Im by root 2 minus average of Vm by root 2 Im by root 2 cos omega t. This is equation 4. As the value of cos omega t is 0, so putting the value of cos omega t in equation 4, the value of power will be given P equals to Vrms Irms minus 0, where P is the average power and Vrms is the root mean square value of supply voltage, and Irms is the root mean square value of the current. Hence the power in a pure resistive circuit given here. Okay, so the voltage and the current in the purely resistive circuit are in phase with each other, having no phase difference with phase angle 0. The alternating quantity reaches their peak value at the interval of the same time period, that is the rise and fall of the voltage and current occur at the same time. After this, I will discuss about pure inductive circuit. The circuit which contains only inductance, which is denoted by L, and not any other quantities like resistance and capacitance in the circuit, is called a pure inductive circuit. So in this type of circuit, the current lags behind the voltage by an angle of 90 degrees. Okay, this is the main important line. The current lag voltage by an angle of 90 degrees. So the inductor is a type of coil which reserve electrical energy in the magnetic field when the current flow through it. The inductor is made up of wire which is wound in the form of a coil. Look here. Okay, when the current flowing through inductor changes, then time varying magnetic field causes EMF which obstruct the flow of current. The inductance is measured in Henry. The opposition of flow of current is known as inductive reactance. Okay, now if we explain the derivation of inductive circuit, just consider this circuit here and let the alternating voltage applied to the circuit is given by this equation V equals to Vm sin omega t. So as a result, an alternating current I flows through the inductance which induce an EMF in it. The equation is shown here, E equals to minus L di by dt. The EMF which is induced in the circuit is equal and opposite to the applied voltage. Hence the equation become V equals to minus E, because this is opposite, this is number 2. So putting the value of E in the equation 2, we will get the equation as V equals to minus L di by dt, or we can write Vm sin omega t equals to L di by dt, or we can write di equals to Vm by L sin omega t dt, which is number 3 equation. Now integrating both side of the equation 3, we will get integration di integration Vm by L sin omega t dt, or we can write I equals to Vm by omega L minus cos omega t, or we can write I equals to Vm by omega L sin omega t minus pi by 2 equals to Vm by xl sin omega t minus pi by 2, which is equation 4, where xl equals to omega L is the opposition offered to the flow of alternating current by a pure inductance and is called inductive reactance. Okay, XL is called inductive reactance. About this inductive reactance, capacitive reactance, I will discuss already. So the value of current will be maximum when sin omega t minus pi by 2 equals to 1. Therefore, we can write Im equals to Vm by xl, number 5 equation. Now substituting the value in Im from the equation 5 and putting it equation 4, we can get I equals to Im sin omega t minus pi by 2. Simple. Okay. Now let us discuss about the phasor diagram and power curve of inductive circuit and power in pure inductive circuit. So the current in the pure inductive AC circuit lags the voltage by 90 degree. We all know that. The waveform, power curve and phasor diagram of a purely inductive circuit is shown here in this picture. So the voltage, current and power waveform are shown in blue, red and pink color respectively. When the values of voltage and current are at its peak as a positive value, the power is also positive, and similarly when the voltage and current give negative waveform, the power will also become negative. So this is because of the phase difference between the voltage and current. So when the voltage drops, the value of the current changes. When the value of a current is at its maximum or peak value of the voltage, at that instant of time will be 0, and therefore the voltage and current are out of phase with each other by an angle of 90 degree or pi by 2. So the phasor diagram is also shown on the left hand side of the waveform, where look here, where current Im lags the voltage by an angle pi by 2. Okay. So what is the power in pure inductive circuit? So instantaneous power in the inductive circuit, which is P equals to Vi, given by P equals to Vi, and we can write P equals to Vm sin omega t, Im sin omega t plus pi by 2, because this current lag the voltage by an angle pi by 2. Okay, that's why pi by 2. So we can also write P equals to Vm Im sin omega t cos omega t. Okay, and P equals to Vm Im by 2 sin omega t cos omega t, and also you can write P equals to Vm by root 2 Im by root 2 sin 2 omega t, or P equals to 0. Hence the average power consumed in a purely inductive circuit is 0. The average power in one alternation in a half cycle is 0, as the negative and positive loop is under power curve is the same. In the purely inductive circuit, during the first quarter cycle, the power supplied by the source is stored in the magnetic field set up around the coil. In the next quarter cycle, the magnetic field diminished and the power that was stored in the first quarter cycle is returned to the source. This process continues in every cycle, and thus no power is consumed in the circuit. Now I will discuss the pure capacitor circuit. Very simple. The circuit containing only a pure capacitor of capacitance C, which is farad, is known as pure capacitor circuit. The capacitor stores electrical power in the electric field. Their effect is known as the capacitance. It is also called condenser. Okay, remember that. The capacitor consists of two conductive plates which are separated by dielectric medium. This dielectric medium is made up of glass, paper, mica, oxide layer, etc. In pure AC capacitor circuit, the current leads the voltage by an angle of 90 degree. In inductive circuit, current lags the voltage by 90 degree. In capacitive circuit, current leads the voltage by 90 degree. Okay. So when the voltage is applied across the capacitor, then the electric field is developed across the plate of the capacitor and no current flow between them. Now if the variable voltage source is applied across the capacitor plates, then the ongoing current flows through the source due to charging and discharging of the capacitor. Now if we explain the derivation of capacitor, a capacitor consists of two insulating plates which are separately by a dielectric medium. It stores energy in electrical form. The capacitor works as a storage device and it gets charged when its supply is on and gets discharged when its supply is off. And if it is connected to the direct supply, it gets charge equal to the value of the applied voltage, and let the alternating voltage applied to the circuit is given by the equation V equals to Vm sin omega t, which is equation 1, and charge of the capacitor at any instant of time is given by Q equals to Cv, equation 2. Now current flowing through the circuit is given by the equation I equals to d by dt into Q, d by dt Q. Now putting the value of Q from the equation 2 in equation 3, we can write I equals to d by dt Cv is equation 3. Now putting the value of V from equation 1 in the equation 3, we will get I equals to d by dt C Vm sin omega t. Simple putting the value C Vm d by dt sin omega t, and I equals to omega C Vm cos omega t. We derivate it respect to time, and which is equals to Vm by 1 by omega C sin omega t plus pi by 2, or I equals to Vm by xc sin omega t plus pi by 2 is equation 4, where x equals to 1 by omega c is the opposition offered to the flow of alternating current by a pure capacitor, and it's called capacitive reactance. Okay. Now the value of current will be maximum when sin omega t plus pi by 2 equals to 1. Therefore, the value of maximum current Im will be Im equals to Vm by xc, and substituting the value of Im in the equation 4, we can get I equals to Im sin omega t plus pi by 2. Now let us discuss about the phasor diagram and power curve and power in pure capacitor. So in the pure capacitor circuit, the current flowing through the capacitor leads the voltage by an angle of 90 degrees. The phasor diagram and the waveform of voltage, current and power are shown here. Simple. The red color shows the current, blue color is for voltage curve, and pink color is indicate for the power curve in the waveform. So when the voltage is increased, the capacitor gets charged and reach or attains its maximum value, and therefore a positive half cycle is obtained. Further, when the voltage level decreases, the capacitor gets discharged and the negative half cycle is formed. If you examine the curve carefully, you will notice that when the voltage attains its maximum value, the value of current is 0. That means there is no flow of current at that time. When the value of voltage is decreased and reaches a value pi, the values of voltage start getting negative and the current attains its peak value. So as a result, the capacitor start discharging. This cycle of charging and discharging of the capacitor continues. So the value of voltage and current are not maximized at the same time because of the phase difference, as they are out of phase with each other by an angle of 90 degree. So the phasor diagram is also shown in the waveform, indicates that the current Im leads the voltage Vm by an angle pi by 2. Okay. Now what is the power in pure capacitive circuit? So we know that instantaneous power is given by the equation P equals to Vi for all resistor, capacitor and inductor. So we can write P equals to Vm sin omega t, Im sin omega t plus pi by 2, and we can write P equals to Vm Im sin omega t cos omega t. Also write P equals to Vm by root 2 Im by root 2 sin 2 omega t, or P equals to 0. Hence, from the above equation, it is clear that the average power in the capacitive circuit is 0. The average power in a half cycle is 0, as the positive and negative loop area in the waveform shown are same. So in the first quarter cycle, the power which is supplied by the source is stored in the electric field set up between the capacitor plates. In the another or next quarter cycle, the electric field diminished, and thus the power stored in the field is returned to the source. This process is repeated continuously, and therefore no power is consumed by the capacitor circuit. Okay. Now I will discuss about the phasor representation of alternating quantities. So assume that alternating voltage and current follow sine law, and generator is designed to give EMFs having sine waveform. The above said assumption make the calculation simple. The method of representing alternating quantities by waveform or by the equation giving instantaneous value, it quite cumbersome. For solution of AC problem, it is advantageous to represent a sinusoidal quantity, which is voltage, maybe voltage or current, by a line of definite length rotating in counterclockwise direction with the same angular velocity as that of the sinusoidal quantity. Such a rotating line is called phasor. Okay, so clear what is phasor? So now consider a line OA. Look at this picture. Consider line OA or phasor, as it is called, representing to scale the maximum value of an alternating quantity, say EMF. Now OA equals to E max and rotating in counterclockwise direction at an angular velocity of omega. Okay, which unit radians per second, about the point O as shown in this figure. So an arrowhead is put at the outer end of the phasor, partly to indicate which end is assumed to move and partly to indicate the previous length of the phasor when two or more phasor happen to coincide. Now in this figure, OA shows that OA, when it has rotated through an angle theta being equal to omega t, theta equals to omega t now. So from the position occupied when the EMF was passing through its zero value, the projection of OA on y-axis OB equals to OA sin theta. Okay, equals to E max sin omega t, which is equals to small e, the value of the EMF at that instant. Thus the projection of OA on the vertical axis represent to scale the instantaneous value of EMF. Now it will seem that the phasor OA rotating in counterclockwise direction will represent a sinusoidal quantity, which is voltage or current, if number 1, its length is equals to the peak or maximum value of the sinusoidal voltage or current to a suitable scale. Number 2, it is in horizontal position at the instant the alternating quantity voltage or current is 0 and increasing. And number 3, its angular velocity is such that its complete one revolution in the same time as taken by the alternating quantity voltage or current to complete one cycle. Now if we talk about the phasor diagram using RMS value, since there is a definite relation between maximum value and RMS value, which is E max equals to n by root 2 RMS, the length of phasor OA can be taken equal to RMS value if desired. But it should be noted that in such cases the projection of the rotation phasor on the vertical axis will not give the instantaneous value that alternating quantity. The phasor diagram drawn in RMS value of the alternating quantities helps in the understanding the behavior of the AC machine under different loading conditions. Okay, let's talk about phase angle, phase and phasor difference of current and voltage. So by phase of alternating current is meant the fraction of the time period of that alternating current that has elapsed since the current last passed through the zero position of reference. The phase angle of any quantity means the angle the phasor representation the quantity makes with the reference line which is taken to be at 0 degree or radian. For example, the phase angle of current I2 in this figure is minus theta, sorry, minus phi. Look here. Okay, so let's talk about phase difference of current and voltage. So when two alternating quantities, says two EMFs or two currents or one voltage and one current are considered simultaneously, the frequency being the same, they may not pass through a particular point at the same instant. One may pass through its maximum value at the instant when the other passes through the value other than its maximum one. These two quantities are said to have a phase difference, and phase difference is always given either in degrees or in radians. The phase difference is measured by the angular distance between the points where the two curves cross the base or reference line in the same direction. The quantity ahead in phase is said to lead the other quantity, while the second quantity is said to lag behind the first one. Okay, so in this figure, figure B, current I1 represented by phasor OA leads the current I2 represented by phasor OB by phi, or current I2 lags behind the current I1 by phi. The leading current I1 goes through its zero and maximum values first, and the current I2 goes through its zero and maximum values after time angle phi. These two wave representing these two current are shown in this figure. Okay, so if I1 takes as reference phasor, the two current can be expressed as I1 equals to I1 max sin omega t and I2 equals to I2 sin omega t minus phi. Okay, because the angle here, the two quantities are said to be in phase with each other if they passes through zero value at the same instant and rise in the same direction as shown in this figure. Okay, so two quantities are said to be in same phase. We are showing this. So but the two quantities passing through zero values at the same instant but rising in opposite direction as shown in this figure 3.3 are said to be in phase opposition, and phase difference is 180 degree. When the two alternating quantities have a phase difference of 90 degree or pi by 2 radians, they are said to be in quadration. Okay, so this is the conventional for process of drawing phasor diagram. So the alternating quantities voltage and current in practice are represented by straight line having definite direction and length. Such line are called the phasor, and the diagram in which phasor represent current, voltage and their phase difference are known as phasor diagram. Okay, what is phasor, what is phasor diagram is now clear. Through phasor diagram can be drawn to represent either maximum or effective value of voltage and current, but since effective value of much more importance, phasor diagram are mostly drawn to represent effective values. So in order to achieve a consistent and accurate result, it is essential to follow certain convention. Okay, so in the last of this video, I will discuss about some of the common convention to draw phasor diagram. So number one, counterclockwise direction of rotation of phasor is usually taken as positive direction of rotation of phasor. A phasor rotated in a counterclockwise direction from a given phasor is said to lead the given phasor, while a phasor rotated in clockwise direction is said to lag the given phasor. Number 2, for series circuit in which the current is common to all parts of the circuit, the current phasor is usually taken as reference phasor for other phasor in the same diagram and drawn on horizontal line. Number 3, in parallel circuit in which the voltage is common to all branches of the circuit, the voltage phasor is usually taken as reference phasor and drawn on the horizontal line. Other phasor are reference to the common voltage phasor. So it is not necessary, number 4 is, it is not necessary that current and voltage phasor are drawn to the same scale. In fact, it is often desirable to draw the current phasor to a larger scale than the voltage phasor when the values of current being represented are small. However, if several voltage phasor are to be used in same phasor diagram, they should all be drawn to the same scale. Likewise, all the current phasor in the same and the diagram should be drawn to the same scale. So that's all of this video. Let us talk about some reference book, which is Circuit Theory and Network by S.V. Ghosh and A.K. Chakraborty. Then Circuit Theory, Analysis and Synthesis by Abhijit Chakraborty, and Circuit and System by K.M. Soni. According to me, this is the best book for diploma and BTech engineers. So please go through this part 1 section, which you will get in my description section, then go through this part 2 video. Hope you all enjoy my lecture. So thank you. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Stay safe, stay happy.